Hello, it's Ginger from WebWench DIY Nails. What we're going to do today is take a look at the right hand, my dominant hand, and applying a very basic dip powder application over builder gel and peel off base. I use Ready for Takeoff peelable base, and all of the products in this video will be linked in the description box below for you in case you want to check them out. One of the things I like best about Builder Gel is that I can build my apex through there very naturally because the gel self-levels and I don't have to worry about that in the dip powder process. The Builder Gel gives me the strength I need to keep my natural nail underneath healthy and strong. Once my natural nails get to this length, I get a little bit nervous about breaking them and it hurting, so I like to keep them nice and strong and healthy. And one way I do that is by not soaking in acetone. I have very sensitive skin, so I can't be soaking my fingertips in acetone often at all. So I choose this method so that I can just file off my manis and start again. I don't have to file very much, just around the edges usually, and the peel base will do the rest of the work. I can usually just pry them up with an orange wood stick. If they need to be coaxed, sometimes I will use my nail, the clippers. I try not to because I like to keep my peelies whole if I can because I collect them because nail art is hard to do and may as well keep it for as long as we can. It's like a scrapbook for nail freaks, I think I said in the last video. So what I've done here is I'm going over each individual builder gel with the peel off base. Through a lot of experimentation, I have found what works best for me is one full, generous coat of peel base. Now, I say it that way because every single one of us is different. How the peel base works for you depends on a lot of different things. Do you have a lot of natural oils in your cuticle area on your nail bed? I mean, are you using the peel base over your natural nail? Are you using it over a gel, a builder gel like I am? You'll see here that even though I added an entire coat of the peel base, it has not affected the apex, the contour, or the shape of my nail. And I use a generous coat, so that's good to know. So once your peel base is dry, and it is imperative that you give it enough time to actually dry in full, that will help you maintain the integrity of the peel off base without it popping off too soon. Once you're sure it's dry, then you can go on with your dip powder routine as you normally would. I skip the clear powder layer to start with because I'm not doing this over my natural nail. Some brands want you to use their base powder or their build powder first. I don't do that. That's what the gel base or the builder gel is for. It takes care of all of that. So I go right in over the peel base with the Revel dip base, and I've decided to lay my finger into the glitter this time. This is Sparkling Co.'s Rain Coats and Rain Boots, and I fell in love with this powder immediately. It is so finely milled and the sparkles are reflective, which I did not know that. I don't think that was in the advertising or the description for this product, but I quickly found that the glitter are in fact reflective, which just means that it doesn't take much light at all for this stuff to just come alive and sparkle. It's actually the reflective glitter is so sparkly that it's hard to get a picture of it actually. I do have some pictures at the end of this video to check out though. So I go in and I find that with dip liquids, for me, the way I do things, the way I'm very slow and concise in this entire process, um, because I feel like the more careful I am, even in these early stages of a dip powder process, I find that the more time and care I take now, the less filing I'll have to do later. Everything I do has to do with or is based on the goal of keeping the thinnest layers possible so that I have to file as little as possible after I'm done. So I go in and I lay my fingers on top of the glitter. I roll a little bit to make sure that I get both sides of each nail, and that's it. I don't keep it uh, like with clear liquids. The best way is to keep your finger in the powder for a solid 2 seconds or so, so that the liquid can absorb that clear, and so you don't get any cloudiness over your color. So I found that with any powder, if you leave your finger in it to just absorb, you get a better, thicker coating. So again, because my goal was to keep my layers thin, my ultimate goal is to trick the eye into it being hard to tell whether that's my natural nails or a gel manicure. These are my natural nails. I would like to keep them looking as close to that way as I can. So I keep my layers thin, and to avoid um, unnecessary thickness, I'm just doing a very quick laying my finger into this finely milled sparkling powder, and I lift out right away. And another goal I had for this particular manicure was 2 coats of color, 1 coat of top coat. That's it. What you see here is something that I do because I am very slow and concise in how I do things, but um, I wouldn't recommend filing your nails until after you activate them, the powder. And I say that because some people don't let their powder dry enough before they try something like this, and they wind up um, moving the dip base on their nail and just screwing the whole thing up, so you have to start again. And I'm not about that at all. So I always make sure that my dip base is dry before I try something like this. And the reason I chance it, knowing that there's a possibility I could screw up the whole nail, is because sometimes, especially when I'm doing my dominant hand, my left hand isn't as talented at all. Sometimes I will hit the skin. And I find that waiting until after I activate is too late. I've already put subsequent layers on top of that mistake, making it grow. So I like to file those little nubs off my skin before I do my next coat so that I don't compound the mistake. I don't make it worse. But I would highly recommend that you first activate and then file if that's what you need to do. And you see here, the second dip is very quick, laying my nail into the powder very lightly, not pushing down, not giving it time to, soak in. I just want a nice, even, thin coverage. And this video is double speed to save time, so don't think that I'm moving this quickly, because that is not the case. Using my precision tool around the cuticle just to make sure that there's some space between the cuticle and where the powder starts. Again, this is a very simple application, um, probably very similar or identical to the instructions you get with most dip powder kits. Any differences you see in what I'm doing here and what you're used to seeing might be because I have builder gel and peel off base involved in this before I even start the dip powder process. At this point, I finished the second coat. I use my precision tool, and we give it time to dry in between each dip powder layer. Do not forget to give it time to dry. Sometimes we get so involved in watching people's videos like this one that you might feel like because you saw them dip and then brush right away that you can do that. No, that's not real time. You're watching a video that's either been sped up or transitioned into the next step. You need to stop what you're doing and give that dip base time to dry before you hit it with any kind of a brush. Soft brush, hard brush, doesn't matter. If your dip base is still wet enough and you use your soft brush, you can still move that base and wreck the whole thing. How do I know this? Because I've done it. I have learned that this entire process is an exercise in patience, which is good for us, especially I have a very hectic day job, so I find it relieving to be forced to be patient. At this point in the manicure, I'm encapsulating my glitter dip powder application in a coat of or a layer of clear. I've been using Fairy Glamour's clear. I love it. It does not cloud up on me. And the reason I do this, especially with this manicure, is because it's got the glitter is the star of this show, the reflective glitter. And I want to protect that with a coat of clear because even though my goal is to file less, I still file after a dip powder application. I'm still going to want to touch up the shape, the edges. I'm going to want to define the cuticle area of the nail so that there's space for me to get in there with my oils every day. If you're not using cuticle oils every day, the health of your cuticle and the moisture and keeping it nourished is essential in new nail growth as well as current nail health. If you're experiencing any lifting at all, I would suggest using cuticle oil every single day. Everybody who in my family that I do nails for now, that I've forced to use cuticle oil every day, they all had to admit that their nails have grown much faster and they're much healthier and stronger because of it. And it will also help you keep your manicures longer because you will stop getting so much lifting. I tell my mom, just do it at night when you're watching TV or whatever. Just keep it handy so that it's there so that you remember and just rub it into your cuticles between your first knuckle and your nail bed and just rub it in. Stimulate that growth a little bit. So now that the clear coat's done, and I'm sure that it's dry, I go in with my soft brush first and I dust off the excess powder. And then I take this hard brush, and this is something that you need to do. Okay. If you want to make sure, if you use dip powders especially, you don't want to contaminate them because as soon as you get some powder, some of this powder into the activator that you're about to use in the next step, that chemical reaction is going to start right there inside your bottle or on your brush, and those products are going to be garbage after that. You won't be able to use them. So these little things are what become very important. Use the hard brush when you're sure it's dry. Get that excess powder off before you go in with your activator. And then I do 2 coats of activator always because I believe there's nothing wrong, nothing's going to happen if you use too much activator. Not using enough activator will mean that your dip powder application will not cure, and then you'll have problems like denting or lifting, and just, I would imagine, a general mess. I've not yet run across this problem, so I'm not sure exactly what would happen, but that's because I'm paranoid and I put 2 layers of activator on just to be sure that it never happens to me. Now you might notice that the tips of my nails are now blue where they were pink before, and that's because this is a thermal dip powder from Sparkle & Co. Links below. What it means to be a thermal dip powder is that it is temperature sensitive. It's one color when it's warm and it's a different color when it's cold. And because our nail beds are warm, you get the warm color over the nail bed and you get the cold color when you have longer nails at the tip of the nails. What does that mean? That means the ombre effect without any added difficulty. So yes, I will buy thermal dip powders for that very reason. Easy ombre, no extra work. After your activator is dry, give it a couple minutes to dry, and then you can go in with your file. And usually the first thing I do is I go around the cuticle area and define that shape, that curve of my cuticle, so that there is a very distinct gap between the nail and my actual cuticle, so that I can get in there with my oils. And the more defined that area is, the less I don't have a problem with lifting. The only time I get any lifting is after an extended period of time where you would expect them not to last anymore anyway. But I do my nails at least once a week, usually, so I really don't leave them on long enough to get any lifting. Here we have filing done, buffing done. I've got my contour back. I've got a nice smooth surface for my gel top coat by iGel Beauty. This is a no wipe gel top coat. I do need a light for this. I might have mentioned before that for builder gel, you need a light for that also. Make sure your light's at least 45 watts and you won't have any problems. I use this top coat because it works for me and I find that it lasts. And as you can see, I still have the apex of my builder gel underneath, and I was able to keep these nice and thin and not bulky at all, and I preserved the shape with very little filing. I really didn't do much filing at all. I just, smoothed everything out, defined my cuticle area, made sure that the undersides of, or the underside of the sidewalls was flat. This is how you can avoid your nails looking too wide, things like that. The magic's all in the filing, honestly. So, thank you for watching. I hope you found something in this video useful, helpful. The manicure on my left hand is a video I released earlier in the week. I will leave that in the cards above. And just some fun pictures I took of the thermal reaction and the transitions in the colors. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you consider subscribing if you enjoy this kind of content and don't want to miss anything. I have so many design ideas. I already have another video to work on. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.